Matt has no way to kill that Lotus Cobra.
Right.
You know, Neil can just bolt it.
Yeah, and here we are going to it right now, coming to you live from Los Angeles. I'm Adrian Sullivan.
And I'm Jacob Van Lunen.
Yeah, welcome to the Star City Games Open Series. We're in round 5. On our left is going to be the lawyer, Matt Sperling, rule of law himself.
And on the right, we have Neil OCampo. Again, Matt is piloting a rogue green-white deck of his own design. And Neil... Oh, looks like they've switched sides.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Wow.
So for those of you,
seen that movie Face Off?
Yes. I actually really love when they switch places. That's good times. Okay.
Now, Matt has been a part of Magic since he was a very young child. So it's cool to see people who, you know, grew up with the game and who were kind of like around events as a young kid, just trying to do well, you know, trying to learn more. So really, like, pick it up and...
This is the start of
Are you okay? Are you okay, Jacob?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Minutes to play this round. You may begin.
Okay, so I'm going to say right now, I'm definitely rooting for Matt Sperling, and not just because I think he's the underdog in this matchup, but also because Matt Sperling inspired me to rebuild the Pro Tour Junk deck. You know, it was a deck that I made a million trillion years ago, and then I saw him playing a version of it at a certain point, and I did some more work, and it became a really great deck for the first time, because before it was a good deck, became a great deck. Right now, Junk is mostly seen in Legacy, and it's a great deck there. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's huge there.
2 Lotus Cobras on turn 2.
Now, some really explosive things could happen here.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Sperling, both players can explode, but on the Matt's next turn, it's totally possible that he could cast, like, he wouldn't want to cast an Avenger of Zendikar on this turn, but he could cast an Inferno Titan.
Now, Neil could just cast an Inferno Titan right now.
That would be devastating.
That would essentially just be the game.
Oh, yeah, my bad. I was actually had it backwards. Matt Sperling does not have Inferno Titan. I was thinking of Neil's deck for a moment, and I got them mixed together in my own mind.
Yeah, I mean, Matt could play a Baneslayer, but
Two-headed giant
could be,
competitors.
yes, that is an Inferno Titan.
Proceedings for deck construction can be found on
And that's
the
it.
pairings board L
Boom.
through O.
He is a giant,
Paper.
and as far as giants go, he is of the fire giant variety. You know,
Your seedings for deck construction.
historically, those have been, you know, my favorite kinds of giants.
Scoop, scoop,
like
scoop.
Thundercloud
Oh,
Shaman.
man.
And that's it. Right?
That
Like,
is it.
That's what I was talking about with the, you know, Inferno Titan, his power level in this format. Like, there's so many one-toughness things. Like, if you Lotus Cobra into an Inferno Titan, you're going to win a game. Like, against just about everybody. Against blue-white, against green-based decks, you eat their board.
I mean, one of the
And then
things...
you have this threat that will just do it every single turn unless they stop it.
I mean, so many of the decks right now, obviously Callblade can get hurt by an Inferno Titan, but the green-based decks can just get basically split open.
Yeah, now here's one of the big issues happening, and Matt's got to be worried right now because Matt realizes, you know, he built this deck just before the tournament. He didn't play a game with it prior to the tournament. This is a rogue deck, and here he is fighting an Inferno Titan for what I'm assuming is the first time he's fought off Inferno Titans today, and he's looking at his main deck and his sideboard, and the only way he could possibly kill an Inferno Titan is once it attacks with his Gideon Jura.
I know, right?
That's his only way
after the effect. I mean, after the damage has been done.
And once an Inferno Titan has attacked twice, once your opponent's gotten 2 free Arc Lightnings, it's really hard to win.
Right. I mean, it's sort of like, you know, successfully throwing a stone and hitting your car after someone steals it.
Yeah.
You're like, ah. Now, from the board, Matt Sperling, what does he have to deal with this kind of thing? I mean, Linvala won't do the work. Core Sanctifier doesn't do much of anything. Mortar Pod is actually pretty solid. Mortar Pod he can use to kill...
Mortar Pod is a good way to fight the Lotus Cobra.
Yeah, kill a Lotus Cobra. I mean, I'm not sure exactly where he's going to go with that.
I mean, it's really tough here for Matt, and Matt's got to know that. Matt knows that, you know, cards like Precursor Golem are really getting against Matt too. Like, these cards, it just seems like this is a really rough matchup for the deck that Matt decided to bring today.
I mean, to be fair, you know, when you brew, you can get something out of making a last-minute deck that can be really surprising and really great. But just from like the way that Magic tends to work, there's this element of economics that goes into it, where the deck that is even a little bit more vetted is just going to have a little bit more level 1 power. You know, like.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just more finely tuned. Now Neil's no schlep. Neil has just top 16'd the Star City Games Standard Open that was up in San Jose. So 2 Star City Games Standard Opens over here in California, and he top 16 the last one, and here he is sitting at 4-0.
Right.
Round 5 in this one.
Neil was just talking to one of the bystanders back there, and you could see that he had a pretty big smile on his face. I can imagine him just kind of saying, yeah, you know, he put down some stuff, and then I dropped down a turn 3 Inferno Titan, and then it was done. There we go. Actually, I think it was turn 4. Was it turn 4?
No, it was turn 3. He played a Lotus Cobra on turn 2,
Yep.
and on turn 3 he cast Explore and played 2 fetch lands and cast an Inferno Titan.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Now, looking at from a historical standpoint, Neil came in 11th place in San Jose playing Genesis Wave. So he's the type of guy who likes playing with these Explore decks, these Haymaker type of decks. I like that too. And I'm very, very happy that he chose to bring Inferno Titans today. And that's a place you want to be. If you want to be ramping right now, you want to have a lot of Inferno Titans in your deck.
I definitely made sure to pick up Inferno Titans really early, and for the most part, in terms of as an investment, so to speak, that wasn't like a huge win investment-wise like a Primeval Titan might have been. But Inferno Titan is starting to get its day.
Oh yeah, and I mean, even in Valakut decks now, like, there are a lot of times where I'd much rather my opponent play Primeval Titan than an Inferno Titan. And having access to these 8 cards that are just so backbreaking. Like, even in Extended, I played Inferno Titan in my Valakut deck for a while as a card that was another I win. Because against a lot of decks, it was just an I win. Before Fairies had Go for the Throat, it was an I win.
Okay, so
Here we are, we're off to the races.
yeah, Matt Sperling, you know, he is somebody that is not the kind of person that's going to get phased by such a rough, quick loss. I mean, he's been around, you know, the rodeo for years now.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's lost faster than that.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay, so we have a Stoneforge Mystic, and it's facing off versus a Lotus Cobra. That Cobra wants to die.
Yes.
There we go, Mortar Pod to get it. I love that. I love Mortar Pod as like just an amazing answer to the first Cobra. Then you can put it on your Mystic, kill the second Cobra.
And, you know, that takes a lot of wind out of the sails from Neil's deck. And we have to remember, Matt only has 1 copy of that Mortar Pod, and he had to get it with that Stoneforge Mystic. So,
Oh, he's got, actually, pardon me, he has 2 copies in the board.
oh, he does have 2 copies.
There we
Okay,
go.
I'm sorry. So it's not as bad as we thought it was. I mean, if he can keep Neil off of Lotus Cobra, then, you know, the degeneracy of Inferno Titan is, you know, quelled to a certain degree, because by the point that he's going to be playing Inferno Titans, Matt's already going to be on things like Baneslayer and Angel.
Right, right. A second Lotus Cobra on the table. Like we said, that is easily dealt with the Mortar Pod in play. He does not have a Germ, but he has the Lady Stoneforge Mystic. I believe that Stoneforge Mystic is ready to die for the cause.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's a martyr.
Right. So I would attack for 1 here, and Neil probably won't block, and then spend the 2 mana. Oh, is that another Mortar Pod?
Yeah.
Yes, never mind. We can just do that.
Yeah, your snakes.
And the thing about this, too, is that the deck that Matt is playing has so many creatures that those mortar pods are going to be around to take care of another Lotus Cobra if it comes. But they're really, that's half of his Lotus Cobras. And so now what you're talking about is Neil OCampo has to get to his expensive spells fairly. He has to, well,
Yeah, he has to
with
play fair. He's
Explore.
already on 4 lands,
Yeah.
and the thing is, Matt's been spending his mana doing that, which has allowed Neil to just, play land drops and
Right,
cast
right.
Explore. He may be able to pass the turn with Mana Leak up here, and then, Matt can really only play, now he's exploring again, so he's just, building this mana, and, now Matt put all this time and effort into making sure that Neil didn't have this explosive draw, and
there
on the
he
very
is.
next turn, Neil is just going to be, bashing.
Yeah, I mean, right now, he won't, like, let's say that a 6-drop hits and it's Inferno Titan on the table, right? It's going to be able to only kill one of those creatures. But, I mean, Matt is really in just a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, and I mean, now Matt missed his 4th land drop, too, which is pretty unfortunate for him.
And what do we see? A Halimar Depths? Or no, Preordain, my bad.
Okay, so Neil does not have a Titan in hand or something like that.
He might have an Acidic Slime. He might, what do we got?
We have,
Looks like a pass? Oh, I'm wrong. Okay. Pyroclasm. Ouch.
well, that's about as good as it gets.
Ouch. And there's a 7th land. That 7th land threatens for an Avenger of Zendikar on the next turn.
Yes.
Lotus Cobra hits the table. Fairly unexciting. He can make a total of 1/2 mana right now.
Yeah, I mean, it can ramp him up to a Baneslayer if he
Right.
rips a land off the top.
If
Even
a
if it
land
into
comes
tap
and
land.
that Lotus Cobra survives, that
Yeah.
could make things good.
It's true. But things could get really ugly really quick right now. I'm actually surprised if they don't.
And again, we've got a dead Lotus Cobra, just trying to keep him from doing anything. I mean, basically the way that Neil OCampo's deck works is he's got his big threats, and then he's got Jaces, so that right now he does not have any big threats going on. But all he's going to do is, preordain, or even just do something. There's the Jace, and right now things have become very dangerous. His opponent has no threats going on. Okay.
He's face healing. He's
So-
just saying, I don't want you to draw
Yeah.
lands.
So let's pretend, right? He has a sack land in play. Matt Sperling does. Would you, if you were Neil OCampo, just said keep it there, leave that card on top just to use up that sacrifice?
I'd brainstorm, to be honest.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, assuming you're fate sealing. Assuming
assuming I'm fate sealing, I leave it on top no matter what.
Yeah, you leave it on top, make them wonder, and make them use it. Okay, so Matt searches up a plains. Look at those nice old school plains.
Those are beta.
Yeah. And of course, they all have the same art. Matt is a professional. Once he gets to the 4 mana mark, there's a lot that he can do. It looks like he's going with just the cause. And I see we've got the cast of Seinfeld here.
Oh, look at this.
Is that right or am I wrong?
I believe it is. We have Jerry, George, Ellen, and Kramer.
Yeah, there we go.
Elaine and Kramer.
Elaine, yep.
Awkward.
And Neil is, yes, Neil is checking it out. He's like, okay, who do I have to kill? If I were him, I would go for Jerry first.
Oh, yeah. What's with all these Inferno Titans? He's brainstorming. Now, this is the thing. I think the brainstorms have a lot more value than the fate sealing here because of how powerful his top end is.
Absolutely.
The cards like, the cards like Inferno Titan and Avenger just close it.
Absolutely.
So, he had the brainstorm, and I believe
Here it is, 7 mana, Avenger of Zendikar, for 8 creatures, 8 little sapperlings.
And looks like the entire cast is going to have trouble dealing with this one.
Yeah.
But I mean, Matt could just play a Baneslayer next turn, and maybe that's enough.
I mean,
I guess not. No, you can just bounce it with Jace.
Jace is problematic. You
yeah,
know?
so he's just out, I guess.
Okay. I mean, we've got that Jace on 5, correct? So,
Correct.
I mean, he's not going to be able to get rid of the Jace this turn. I mean, if Linvala could turn off Jace, then I think he would have a good play here, but... and as Glenn Jones walks away, he laughs at that.
I'm surprised. Neil Campo here, it looks like, is he using Squirtles? Are those his plant tokens?
Is that Squirtle?
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of the Oddish as a
Interesting.
plant token for
Interesting.
my Avenger of Zendikar.
But it's more fun to say Squirtle.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Now, with that fetch land, those plants are very dangerous.
Oh man, like I'm thinking about the video game Plants vs Zombies right now, and I'm gonna say that right now, even if Matt had a bunch of zombies, Team Plant would be the victor.
Team Plant's got it. All those smiling sunflowers.
I think part of the thing one of the things I don't particularly like about Matt's list, I don't see much in the way of an over-the-top play. You know, Baneslayer is as close as he gets to the over-the-top play.
Yeah, and he has a Sun Titan.
That doesn't really feel very over-the-top in this list, because you're bringing back something, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the thing about, though, like, the reason Sun Titan's so good is because, like, your over-the-top play is your swords.
Right.
So, like, Sun Titan makes those, like, this perpetual thing.
Okay, what, off the screen, after he attacked with the Caw-Blade, off the screen is something he just cast. We'll be able to see it in a moment.
Yeah, I'm unsure what happened here.
Okay, we have a Baneslayer.
Angel.
Baneslayer is the best card that he... There's the top end, in my mind. I think that the Baneslayer is more potent in what's going to happen in this match than a Sun Titan will be, at least to begin with. I'll say that up until the point where an acidic slime kills a sword.
Now, I think it's just it. Lights, right? He
Bounces
pops the fetch land,
bounces the
attacks
Baneslayer. Pop.
Yeah.
What you gonna
Activate
do?
Ravine. Lethal. And that's it. Matt Sperling gets out. Now, Matt is still at 4-1. It's an exciting new deck, this green and white deck. I'm sure he probably would have had more ways to interact with the big top end of rug style decks, you know, bug, rug, those types of decks.
Right.
Bug's kind of dead now because Inferno Titan's just a lot better than